Hey, thanks very much for coming.
Well, thank you.
As I said, I saw the movie a couple of nights ago, and it blew me away. And what's really stunning is when I saw you backstage here, you are so completely different in person than from the character. You don't see that as often these days, where someone completely changes themselves. You know, an actor completely becomes a different character in a movie. And your look is very different, too. I know you did some things to sort of get an authentic look for someone living in Arkansas. Is that right?
Yeah, particularly this kind of character. Actually, when the hair people were going to do the hair, you know, like you saw there in the clip, we went in the only barber shop in the town we were shooting in, and the barber was asleep. There was one chair, and he was asleep. And just to show you how old-fashioned the barber shop was, the ends of the chair arms were ashtrays, and he had a cigarette burning in each one of them. And it was Bill's barber shop, and that was Bill. And so we woke him up, and we said, look, we'd like a haircut like they used to have in the 1920s, you know. And he said, huh? And we said, just give me the usual. And you know, what you see there on the screen, that's the usual. So,
that's what he's given anybody that comes in.
Anybody that comes in, that's what they get. And that's, by the way, just what I wanted. So,
the casting, which you did in this movie, you took some chances. Here. We saw in that clip, that's John Ritter. And you'd think that putting John Ritter in a movie, it's a risky move because you think a lot of people, it might take them out of the movie. Look, it's Jack Tripper, you know?
Exactly.
And that would happen, which is a danger, you know? And then they're starting to look for Mr. Furley and what's going to happen. Suddenly, but John Ritter did an amazing job. I mean, you know, he's obviously a terrific actor, but he completely puts that kind of that character behind him.
Well, sure. I mean, that was one of the joys of the movie, was being able to put a lot of people in the movie that normally wouldn't be in an independent film like that, you know.
Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall is in it, and Dwight Yoakam, who is basically known as a country singer in this, you know, and then he does a terrific job. And I even have a guy named James Hampton in the movie who used to be on F Troop.
You know, that's the part where it took me out of the movie a little bit, because I'm an F Troop fan. So I was like, he's Dobbs on F Troop.
Exactly.
So I was like, it's Dobbs! And people are, shut up.
Exactly.
What an idiot.
But it was great being able to put John in. And of course, you know, I gave him the goofy haircut. You know, he never forgave me for that. No,
How long did that last on John Ritter, that goofy hair?
It lasted until now, actually.
It's ruined his life, actually.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it kind of grew out, but the color never came back. So he's dyed it about 5 different times, and I don't think he's ever going to forgive me.
Now, you also cast some of the locals from the town, some friends too. Is that right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I put a guy named Rick Dial, who runs the Fix-It shop in the movie. He was my friend since I was in the 3rd grade, actually, and you know, we went all the way through college. Well, he went through college. I went like a year and a half, but.
You studied extra hard and completed the work.
Exactly. That's what it was. Yeah, I was 16 when I graduated college. That's right. But,
and it was one of those situations where people were one of the guys working in a furniture store, wasn't he? Who's
it was the same guy.
Same guy. He's working in a furniture store.
Oh yeah, he's well, first of all, Rick is like this big, and the wardrobe guy came to fit him for his costume, and the guy works in a furniture store. And when they first called me about him, they said, "Who's his agent?" I said, "Orr's Furniture in Malvern, Arkansas." And so they put the tape around him, and they're measuring the guy, and he literally sold a sleeper sofa while they were measuring him. You know, so
Hollywood should be more that way.
Yeah, I think so.
Now you grew up in what part of Arkansas?
A little town called Malvern. It was about 10,000 people, just like the town in the movie, you know.
And you were raised by your grandparents primarily, is that right?
Well, we lived with my grandparents when I was a kid, and we were, you know, no electricity, no running water, that kind of thing when I was a kid, and I mean, to this day, I miss fried squirrel legs, you know.
Have you seen our commissary?
Yeah. Actually, I did.
Check it out.
First one I've had in years, actually.
That's good. They put it on a Kaiser roll, which makes all the difference.
That's right.
You really ate fried squirrel? Is it good?
It's terrific. It's the best meat I've ever had. You know.
Does it taste like chicken? That's what they always say.
No. Actually, it's probably one of the only meats that doesn't taste like chicken.
It tastes like squirrel.
Yeah, it tastes like a rat. Actually, is what it tastes like, but which is not bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Rat is a little, not quite as good as squirrel.
Exactly.
It's all how you prepare rat. We could bore you with this, but we won't.
That's right.
Your mom had I wanted to mention this, your mom had quite a fascinating job. you're growing up?
Yeah, well, it was, you know, I'm a little schizophrenic. My dad was a small-town basketball coach, a little hot-headed Irish guy who was a basketball coach, and my mother is a psychic. So it was
Now,
like...
but a psychic who had some claims to legitimacy because she worked with the police, right?
Yeah, she did some of that, and she also used to speak at medical conventions on parapsychology, you know, that kind of thing. So she was a real thing. It wasn't like the Dionne Warwick 976 deal or what, you know.
There is nothing illegitimate about Dionne Warwick's enterprise.
Yeah. No knock on Dionne.
Yeah. And so was it difficult with your mom's psychic? You know, is that hard to deal with?
Hard to sneak in the house late at night, yes. Very hard. Yeah.
You've been drinking.
Exactly, yeah. That's right. Fortunately, she didn't know a lot of stuff, so every now and then it'd be like, is that baking powder on your shoulder? No, not really. No.
Oh, Billy Bob.
That's a joke. That's a joke. I never did that kind of thing.
You know, I'm really impressed with the writing too in the movie. And we chatted a little bit backstage, and you were talking about one thing we had in common is we're big Flannery O'Connor fans.
Absolutely.
She's a great Southern writer, and you see some elements of that in the writing of the movie.
No,
is that something that you know? Did it take you a long time to write these scripts? They seem pretty well crafted.
Well, I'm a sort of stream of consciousness writer, actually, to tell you the truth. I mean, so what I do is I procrastinate for weeks and weeks, don't write a word, and then I sit down in one night and write 50 pages, you know, so it goes like that. It still takes me 2 or 3 months to do a script, but I do it all in 1 or 2 nights.
Now, any chance you're going to go Hollywood and start, you know, writing big
yeah,
blockbuster
actually,
movies, asteroids, volcanoes?
Absolutely. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm actually doing a sequel to Going Coconuts with Donnie and Marie. So that's my next...
that I want to see.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just please working in as a cameo. I want to sing a song.
Now I'm going to do another rural kind of movie next, and then got a couple of acting roles coming up in between. So.
Well, it was great to meet you. It's a fantastic movie, and come on back. Tell us about the next one. All right, Sling Blade. Ladies and gentlemen, see it. Billy Bob Thornton. We're going to take a little break. Robert Palmer coming up. We'll be right back.